boy, as we're diving in, and before we do start, people in the chat, place your bets, because for the next 3 minutes, predictions are open for who you think will win this series.
Is it gonna be our player spotting in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE? The pink Protoss player coming out from the land of Hong Kong. He is, of course, gonna be representing Juggernaut Gaming as their analyst. He is the Traumatizer, Bistork.
Love it. He's one of the Juggernauts. He's the Traumatizer. Oh, God. It's very fitting. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Australian Zerg player. He is red, representing the Cranky Ducklings. It is Oreo.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh, God, get your uh-ohs in the chat, as Oreo is being a little bit cheeky here, as he is kind of juking out the probe, forcing it to back off and taking that natural base. But, very similar to me and Micah, he did go for a pull first.
Yeah, we'll see what he ends up doing with that. Every time I see Oreo on Blackburn, I have to imagine he's going to go for a some sort of a Roach Hydra push at a certain point, but you know, that's still to be determined.
Yeah, we have seen him go for Hydra timings in the past, but that is typically as a response to a Stargate opening, to try and, you know, catch those Void Rays a little bit off guard and catch your opponent off guard. But we'll see. We'll see what he has in store for us here on Blackburn, as, yeah, links are coming across the map.
Yeah, slowly making their way. Is it just me, or is that light by the natural base a lot brighter as well?
Oh my God.
Look at that lens flare.
I just noticed it and I have to look away. It's like, oh my God, there's another. Oh, I can't escape it. It's everywhere. You're right.
So I guess the map is brighter.
It is. It's burning into my skull. Jesus Christ. Oh.
Oh, some shade at last. No, it's so bright. We move a pixel closer and it burns our eyes immediately.
Yeah. It's like there's a magnifying glass just like aimed at your retinas. Like, it's just God.
I would not want to piss off an observer on this map. They should just zoom in that location and just blind everybody watching.
Just hot. So
that's actually not that bad.
Yeah. Thankfully. But I think that's new. That's something that I didn't notice before.
It's gotta be, right? Look at that lens flare.
Yeah.
It's actually like getting to the edge of the map if you really zoom out.
It really is.
Oh my lord, that is one bright goddamn light.
Yeah, that's 100% new to the map. I don't think it's intentional, but hopefully someone points it out on like Reddit or something and is able to get people's attention, because again, like, that's just...
Well, the light is already getting my attention.
Yeah, hopefully it gets other people's as well.
How could it not grab your attention?
Oh God, as so far, Oreo, he did at least force out the initial Zealots, he did force out the wall because of his pull first, but not much else. Meanwhile, Bistork is in fact going for that Stargate opener.
Yeah, Oreo is able to scout that pretty immediately, knows that a Void Ray is coming his way, so I would imagine that we're going to be seeing a Hydra timing once again.
Yeah, I'm really curious because he went for an Evo Chamber. Is it going to be for +1 range? Because that would be a very nice timing to hit here. But no, he opts to go for +1 melee.
Hit him before he can get anything out. Alright, that's another answer, I suppose.
Yeah, if you remember, Stefano did this quite often when we were casting DreamHack EU. Even on this map, I believe.
I think I remember that,
Yeah, he would rely a lot. He obviously had a different approach to the game. To this matchup, he would rely a lot on Ling Bane run-bys and just like cripple his opponent economically, but just continuing to just go run-by after run-by after run-by, and work a little bit more when it comes to guerrilla tactics. Meanwhile, oh my God, that was a beautiful surround there with those links.
Yeah, right on top of the shades, manages to get both of the adepts before any real damage can be done. Unfortunately, unable to go into the main base, or the natural base even, but he does delay a third. That's a very Beacon and another Stargate on the way. Tell me that please tell me that Bistork has been able to pick up a thing or two from King Cobra.
It's got to be Tempest, mate. We shall see as there. Oh, it's a carrier.
Oh, alrighty then.
So he's not quite going King Cobra. He's pulling a bit more of a Paco Mike here. So what is bold about this is that obviously he has no Void Rays to harass across the map and to support his carriers, but he's working on that carrier count quite quickly.
Yeah, at a certain point, carriers are their own buffer.
True.
We're gonna get a critical mass of them. +1 is almost done for Oreo. Already he has been able to chip away at that wall of Bistork, so maybe with his upgrades coming into play, he may be able to go for a straight up link flood again. These carriers take a while to build.
That they do. I mean, the queens are already waddling across the map. We have 20 links on the way. That link flood will happen. Quickly checking, do we have a Bailey Nest? We do not have a Bailey Nest, so he's going to have a hard time breaking through, but there's not a lot to stop him. Like, again, there are 2 carriers. They don't have a lot of interceptors.
Yeah, only a single shield battery as well. All of these queens have to be dealt with too. The carriers are actually moving away from the wall, trying to deal with the queens, and now they're right in the open.
Yeah, that they are, but the interceptors are being focused down one after the other. And with that, there's not going to be enough DPS to really focus down these queens. The interceptors are trying to be remade, but again, this is a lot of lost value. And yeah, the interceptors, they're just running out. They're gone.
Like so. Fortunately, there's no creep spread here yet, so
also,
I can't quite chase that down.
I'm not sure if this Bailey Nest was forgotten or not. As in, I think when Oreo attacked and hit the wall, he's like, "Oh, a Bailey Nest." Yeah. But yeah, it did finish.
I would fear that's what happened too.
So Oreo wasn't able to break his opponent, but he did contain Bistork to 2 aces.
Which already is definitely a pretty big victory. Once again, gonna contain him. Only a little bit of a Soprano.
Oh yeah, exactly. As another Adept is going to be taken out. 2 Adepts get taken out. But that carrier count is getting quite large. I do like Oreo's response at the moment because he is going for that Hydra timing. And there's no answer to the Hydras. There's no charge. There's no Twilight Council. There's no Storm. There's no splash damage.
Yeah, it definitely feels like Bistork is putting all of his eggs in one basket. Unfortunately, he just cannot get a third base up and running.
He cannot.
And that's just super important. I mean, you mentioned how he doesn't have any AoE. He doesn't have any upgrades on his gateway units. Well, I have to imagine that a big part of that is just because he hasn't been able to get a stable economy yet.
Yeah, he's all in essentially. Like, these carriers have to deal some damage. How good are the transfuses? We have a lot of queens. Ooh, the first queen does go down, and the second just barely survives with these transfuses. The Hydras are on the way.
Every single interceptor is targeting down that queen, but every other queen is transfusing it. The interceptors are out.
Yeah. Wow, like how you can't out-sustain the queen? Like, the queens, they just killed everything, even Sniper Carrier.
Wow. And that's even before the Hydralists and the Infestors come into play.
Yeah. Mate, you thought queens could kill interceptors, mate. You ain't seen nothing yet. Once the Hydras come out, like, the interceptors, they're gonna do nothing.
It's completely shredded to the onslaught of that very high fire rate from the Hydras.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we have those Infestors as well. We don't have pathogen glands, so it's gonna take a long time for those Infestors to actually get energy to land any fungals. Meanwhile, the carriers are trying to find a way in. Again, they don't have to commit to a fight here at the third base. They could just pivot away into the main.
And he's trying to do that. Trying to catch those Infestors, it seems, but not quite catching up to him. A lot of Spore Crawlers by this location. Probably not the best place you want to fight right now, Bistork.
Yeah, he does kill off both of the gases, so that will hinder the Hydra production quite well. But, I mean, Oreo doesn't need to produce more Hydras. He's almost maxed out. Like, he's got his army.
This is the ideal ZvP composition. You may not like it, but this is what it looks like.
Yeah, well, especially against this. Meanwhile, the Microbial Shrouds are going down. This air army is going to do nothing to these Queens and Hydras.
They're trying, but not succeeding. Once again, Bistork is basically 0 interceptors. He is digging into his bank to try to remake them. But now all these queens are still alive. A couple of Hydras survived too. It's really nothing to keep the Skytoss army alive anymore. Shield Magnets are energy, and there's no overcharge available.
Well, there's just no DPS. There's just no damage. There's like 2 Void Rays, and that's all there is. A handful of interceptors, and that's not going to be enough. Oreo is just going to walk over everything that Bistork has here.
At least by the surface location, a couple more Void Rays are starting to pop out. They're not the best unit in the world versus Hydras, but if you get them in high enough numbers and you isolate enough Hydralists, you can try to take them out.
Yeah, the problem is that they're not getting at high enough numbers.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
The Void Rays are getting picked off one after the other. There's only 3 at a time ever on the map. They just can't get to critical mass. And it's taking a while because Queens are, of course, incredibly slow off of creep, but the Waddle of Death is coming, and it's coming for Bistork.
Slowly but surely. GG is called. Oreo takes game number 1. Really make Bistork go, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
And how convincing that game was, I'm also going to say uh-oh. Because I fear we may not get an ace match.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you know, that composition from Oreo works very well on Blackburn specifically. So I'd be surprised if we see that again, to be honest. I'd be it is very map specific. So we'll see what Bistork has in store for us on a larger map like Curious Minds.
Is it that much larger? Think on that for a little bit. Well, compared to Blackburn, definitely. I guess I see it as a bit of a choky map.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, Curious Minds, it is quite large. The biggest thing about Curious Minds is, like, I don't know if you've seen the triangular third on this map. It's
Triangular.
Open. It does not give it justice, mate. It is beyond open. You can attack it from every single angle. It's insane.
Triangle third. Ooh. See a lot of possibilities. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredibly exposed. So, you know, obviously we'll get to it, mate. We'll get to it.
That we shall, as we continue our series here on Curious Minds LE. We're in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner. We have our pink Protoss player coming out from the land of Hong Kong. He is the best Protoss player in all of Hong Kong, representing Juggernaut Gaming. He, of course, is the Traumatizer himself, part of the Not Army, Bistork.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Curious Minds LE, it is the Australian Zerg player representing the Cranky Ducklings. It is Oreo.
Just playing out the possibilities in my head right now. Is that... yeah, I guess it would be the triangular third would be, you could use it as a bit of a launching pad.
Kind of. I mean, so this map is interesting to say the least. It reminds me a little bit of Lightshade. I think it's a little bit comparable to that. Except instead of having a path through the center of the map, there's rocks here. So it does.
I know that first.
Yeah, so it does mean that the rush distance by ground is a little bit longer. Obviously, things can open up in the late game. But if you remember, this is the longer game that we saw between Pez and Azure.
It really was.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I imagine a counterattack style would be very effective on this map, but that's enough about that. Now, we consider the fact that Bistork did get a forge, and he is fully walling this off. Oreo taking this very, very seriously, pulling a lot of boys.
He wants to break through.
And one pylon should go down, one pylon should go down, one pylon should go down.
Oh my god. Finally, there we go, the probes.
Canceled,
yeah, they do get through that pylon. They're trying to get to the juicy center of all of these cannons, and it looks like they do get a decent surface area on two of the pylons, but this one cannon, it looks like it's going to finish.
It should finish. finish up at any rate.
Oh god, exactly. There we go.
Like that.
Yeah, the cannon does finish up. We do have Lynx coming out though, and a spine is on the way, so honestly, drones shouldn't go down here. Yeah.
They really shouldn't, yeah. And Spine Crawl finishes up as well, not taking any damage from earlier on. Bistork now starting to target fire a little bit. Does get 3 drones, but that was a very committed cannon rush to say the least.
Yeah, exactly. That was quite close. But Oreo, with a calm, cool head, he does shut all of this down. And look at how many resources. 4 pylons. 400 minerals, mate. It's all gone. It's all just down the drain.
Wow. And even more is going to be lost here as the pylons get taken out.
Yeah.
How does Bistork transition from here?
Yeah, and sure, an Adept shows up, but that spine from earlier, it's going to protect the workers from the Adept.
That spine, all these lings, everything that you can really get as a third player at this stage of tech.
Yeah. Wow. The spine does reposition, so it could give like an avenue for this Adept to shade in, but there's only one Adept, so it's a little bit vulnerable. It could definitely get surrounded by these lings, and Oreo, he comes out of this like pretty well.
That he does. Meanwhile, I guess at the very least you could say that maybe Oreo gets a delayed third, so maybe that's something, but you're gonna need a little bit more than that when you go that dedicated to your cannon rush, right?
I mean, look at the units. Sorry, look at the resources lost so far. That was a massive investment. The third base does not get denied by this Adept, so Oreo does get up. As you said, though, it is incredibly late, and Bistork is transitioning into Skytoss.
Which I feel like is maybe the only way for Bistork to keep up the momentum.
Oh yeah, yeah. Stargates are quite common follow-ups to cannon rushes, and they can do pretty well. You know, we already have the Forge for cannons and shield batteries to slowly expand and take another base. Void Rays, there is no answer to them at the moment. And if Oreo doesn't get in position, like this one Void Ray could even deny this third.
Looking to.
Oh boy. This is rough. The queens are trying to waddle over. There's no creeping spread, by the way, and maybe they can get here in time. Up. Oh no.
They do, but now the Oracle's here.
Oracle
actually does a little bit more damage against queens, if I'm not mistaken.
This may just be game, by the way. 2 queens just died. Third base has to be cancelled, and now there's no easy way for Oreo to take a third. Like,
Just waiting for that Oracle to wear out eventually and that Void Ray to get bored, I suppose.
Yeah, I think he's recognized that he's all in. He threw down a Bane Nest. I think he's going to go for a Bane Bust, mate. He's just going for it.
Good work. There's not a lot on the ground.
Yeah. The Adept goes down. Are Banelings even required? The Oracle wasted its energy earlier on that Queen. Uh-oh.
I can't even throw out a Stasis Ward. Void Rays do pop out, though.
Yeah, Void Ray does pop out. We have a shield battery on the way. Cybercore did take a lot of damage, but Void Rays to defend. Like, can he really Bane Bust someone with Void Rays?
You can try. Not sure if you'll succeed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there we go. Banelings are on the way. Void Rays are moving out of position. They are exposing the natural a little bit. And to be fair, killing the Cybercore, like, that has its benefits. You know, he'll be able to deny the upgrade.
Yeah, deny the upgrade, deny building any other unit, then Stargate units as well as Zealots, but the Banelings get caught just as they move in.
One of them gets caught. Can he still bust through? All the Banelings go up, but Overcharge gets used. The Cybercore will stand strong.
Looks like that. But the third base is a completely different story.
Yeah, it looks like the third base will go down. Hopefully we see it cancel in time. Ooh, cancel just in time there. Lings are going to be forced back, and this time the queens are in position, and Oreo will get his third up.
I'm liking this a lot, actually. Oreo, taking a page from Stefano's book, is going for this type of guerrilla warfare style as you described it to me.
Yeah.
Starve him out.
Exactly. You know, just keep him on low economy on those 2 bases for as long as possible. Buy yourself some breathing room, and with this Oreo, he was able. Like, there's a world out there where Oreo never gets his third up and running, so he had some nice moves.
Definitely is. In that world, he also has really frizzy hair, or a perm. I don't know.
What?
Since there is a world where he doesn't get the third up and running.
God damn it. Oh god.
Hydra's on the way.
Yeah, Hydras are on the way. I'm a little bit concerned. We'll see if enough of them come out in time, because mate, that's a lot of Void Rays. That's 6 voids.
There are 6 Void Rays, but they jump face first into the Queens. There are still a couple of transfuses available, and Oreo will be able to hold for now.
Yeah, I was worried if, say, those Void Rays rotated and went into the main or something, you know? We've seen time and time again, like, 4 to 6 Void Rays just right-click on a hatchery and kill it. And honestly, this space is exposed. There's no creep connecting the natural to the main. The Spore isn't in the best position either to protect the base. But Bistork, unfortunately, as you said, went headfirst into the Queens.
A little bit of a questionable maneuver, definitely.
Exactly.
So much damage already.
And now, because of that, like, Oreo, he's stabilized for the most part, you know? It's never a good thing to be on equal bases with your opponent, but remember, Bistork's third was so much later compared to Oreo's, and he has a decent army. What's interesting to me is that he's not stopping queen production, by the way. Like, he just keeps pumping them out.
Oh, you gotta have some anti-air.
Yeah.
See if he decides to deal with that grubble later on. Did I say grubble? Gravel.
Yeah, and May, I guess what I meant is that I feel like Oreo has finished droning up. May the queens are waddling across the map. The highway, it's kind of being built, kind of. But we have nothing but Lings coming out behind this. +1 carapace could finish up by the time the army gets across the map. But Oreo has to be careful. There's a lot of stack defense, and there is the stasis ward.
Not sure if he's aware of it, but I thought the one Hydra might overextend a little bit and run into the safe sword.
One lane just needs to get there, please. Oh god.
I'll even accept the baneling. Okay, not too many units caught in that stasis ward.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually a very good choke point for Bistork to utilize.
That it is. The banelings, they don't really get the connections they need. Solid force fields there by Bistork, and now all the Hydras are getting picked off. Only queens remaining.
The army count is starting to get lower and lower light.
Oh, exactly.
As Bistork climbs higher and higher and higher.
Yeah, all the energy gets used up. There is not enough for any more transfuses. Bistork takes the fight and ties up the series 1-1.
And that means Socialite. For the first time, we had to cast Pride of Adalris.
Yeah, I almost called it Paradise.
Altaris. Yeah.
Just saying words, mate. Oh god,
Altaria.
Yeah. Pride of Altair, mate. We're going to Italy. We're going to the Vatican, mate. Oh god.
We're gonna have a fist fight with the Pope.
There you go. I also just realized that Altair's game was not in Italy. It's a completely different country.
It was the first, yeah.
Oh god.
Although he was in Revelations.
Yeah, he was, I guess.
That also was in Italy, but you know.
It's fine.
Close.
It's fine. It's close enough. It's in that area of the world.
Yeah. The
generally.
Mediterranean sort of area.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But again, GG. Well played to Bistork for tying up the series. Again, like the denial of that third base and forcing Oreo to forcing his hand, I guess. Yeah. Like he had some nice moves transitioning and stuff, but like he was still in a rough place overall.
But now we have it. For all the cards, for all the money, for all the channel points that you people have been predicting. This is it. This is the ace match. Thank you so much, Daunted. That map does remind me of Blackpink.
You already said that.
I did! But now Daunted is like validating it for me.
Is it a good thing for Daunted to validate you?
True. Now that you mention it.
Oh, God.
But speaking of mentioning it, we are coming into Pride of Altaris LE, which reminds me a little bit of Overgrowth, looking at the mini-map. In the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, the pink Protoss player coming from the land of Hong Kong, the best Protoss player from Hong Kong. He is going to be representing Juggernaut Gaming. We have the analyst, Bistork.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pride of Altaris LE, we have the Australian Zerg player. He's red, representing the Cranky Ducklings. It is Oreo.
Going for another pool first.
That he is. So if Bistork decides to go for another cannon rush, Oreo will be ready. He even has his Overlord above his base, just in case. And as we can see, there is no forge across the map. Bistork is not trying to go crazy.
Yeah. It's a build you throw out once in a best of series. You don't want to rely on it too much, unless your name is Haas, in which case, you know, sometimes it works out somehow it works out every single time.
It's true. It's very true. Oh god. And this map, yo, I can't remember what the map was called. I think you casted it with me. Did you cast a Spicy Team League?
We did.
Yeah. Is Prion Terraces the one that we're talking about?
I don't think Prion Terraces was the one that we're talking about, but this map does remind me a lot of Prion Terraces as well.
It's the map that did have Zonagas and also had like...
That was a gold base.
Yeah, but it was like on the high ground.
And there's a gold base here too!
Yeah, there is. But it was like a ramp that leads up into a base that has like vision on low ground. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I can't remember what it's called, but this map kind of reminds me of it.
It does, actually, yeah, because we got a lot of the yellow, but with the green as well.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of ramps leading up to stuff. Speaking of ramps, Oreo already ramping up the aggression, but the Adept does make it out just in time.
Yeah, exactly. Once again, showing us that Cybercore block there, just buying just enough time for the Adept. Meanwhile, Oreo doesn't care because, mate, he has not made a single drone since the start of this game. With only 16 workers, he is making nothing but links. He's got a Bailey nest. He is pulling a Miomika.
Was it Miomika that did this, or was it Demi that did this? No, it was Miomika, yeah.
Yeah, Miomika did this against Pez and just straight up on the game.
Yep, I remember that.
And that may happen here. What's interesting about this is that there is no link speed.
Likely.
Like Oreo's doing this of slow links, which is interesting to me. Because of this, like, he has made it so that he has like more resources to hit a little bit faster with all these bane links.
And I think that's exactly what he needs. He doesn't necessarily need that link speed. It's a very straightforward rush distance. Bistork does scout this with his shade, but I fear it's too little too late.
He's the wall up,
setting up a secondary wall, or trying to set up a secondary wall.
Oh my god.
It unfortunately was not in the right location. That shield battery cannot get up in time. Very nice mineral walking with the probes, but this pylon is in a lot of trouble. Will get taken out. The backup pylon didn't even get to be thrown down.
Yeah, exactly. And just like that, the probes are falling. The pylons are falling as well. The lings do get in. They are slow lings, to be fair. And the Oracle is about to help out. With this Oracle, yo, Bistork can clean this up.
He absolutely can. Unless Oreo is somehow able to outproduce the Pulsar Beam. There is a possibility, slim as it is, that Oreo could just overwhelm and let the Oracles run out of energy.
Exactly, but that is not the case. Bistork does defend here on 2 bases, and Oreo is forced to drone up.
Yeah, I'm sure this is where he wants to be in this game. Ideally, you would be able to take out your Protoss opponent with that Bane bust, but it's not the biggest of deals here for Oreo. He killed, what, 6 probes behind all of that. He took out some key tech. He forced Bistork to rebuild a lot of buildings, so... No, they are on about even footing at this point.
Yeah, that they are. Oh god, which is I have to give the advantage to Bistork here. Like, sure, he was forced to kind of spend a bunch of resources to defend at home, but like there's so much power with this Oracle. He picks up a couple of workers. There is thankfully a Spore in the main base, so he's not gonna get too much, but 4 or 5 drones? Ugh.
Yeah, he got these oracles for defense, but now he is using them so well to harass.
Yeah, and now with 2 oracles, with 3 oracles, he can ignore the Spore and just dive into the mineral line anyway.
Pulling a bit of a Pez here.
Yeah, exactly, and with no Spore at the natural, if Bistork does go for the natural base, then, okay, oh, never mind, he actually splits up his oracles. Oh.
Huh. Alright. Well,
like,
it does only take 2 oracles to one-shot drones, I suppose.
Yeah, I do think that Oreo got a little bit lucky there, but we do see that instead he's trying to deny straight up the 3rd base.
Huh.
Oh god. Oh god,
maybe.
cancel!
Cancel!
Ugh.
Right last second.
Jesus Christ. And Oreo, what is the plan from here? He's going 2 bases, he's going for a very fast lair. I'm very curious to see what this is for. Hydra timing at this point, I feel like it's too expensive to try and go into. We may see a Spire. He goes for the Hydras.
And unfortunately, Bistork is not too committed on the Stargate this game. This is a bit of a tell for Oreo. He sees the amount of Adepts out. I don't think he wants to commit to the Hydras, but I mean, he may have to as Hydra Den is about halfway done. It may just be too late to get a Roach Warren out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, these Adepts may be just the nail in the coffin. Like, Adepts, they want to fight Lings. Thankfully, the Baneling Nest can come into play here. Baneling's chasing down those shades. Like, Oreo can defend, but he needs a 3rd. He just tried to get a 3rd up and running here, but he was denied because of the Stasis Ward.
Again, the Shades do not commit, thankfully, and yeah, the Queens are doing a decent job of keeping the Adepts at bay for now. Bistork's being so annoying with these Stasis Wards. My god, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's no answer to these Oracles, right? He's got 2 of them. We have a Warp Prism as well. More Adepts are going to be warping in. Ooh, I don't know about this, though. Bistork actually commits to the fight and he loses 2 Oracles immediately.
He does, and there's a pretty decent Baneling connection on the chunk of the Adepts. A couple more of those, and I can definitely see Oreo turning this around, but how likely is that? Very nice split on the Adept Shades right towards the end, but I think there's just too much firepower here for Oreo, perhaps?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was not enough. I think Bistork may be being a little bit too greedy, but he does warp in another wave of Adepts, and this time he commits to the Shade once again, but only with half of them.
Yeah, so in the end, he still does lose a bunch of Adepts, unfortunately. But he kind of wanted to. Bistork is transitioning out from that phase, going into more of a charge-let style. I'm not sure if he's going to be going for Colossus or Disrupted, so this Robo Bay. I imagine Colossus.
I mean, ¿por qué no los dos? You know, why not both?
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, but I do think that Oreo has some momentum going his way. Finally, that his 3rd base is going to get up and running. Thankfully, it is going to be a ground toss composition, not a sky toss. But the Adepts, they just warp in again.
Like so.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if this Hydra push can do anything here. The Baneling's trying to connect with the Adepts, but they get wasted. And Hydras against Adepts, you never want to see that. These are expensive losses here for Oreo.
Yeah, comparatively. Especially since, again, Oreo has been on 2 bases for the longest of times. He's only now really starting to saturate that 3rd base. And Bistork is being so annoying with his harassment as well. Finally, the Warp Prism gets taken out.
Yeah, exactly.
But not before so much lost mining time.
Yeah, Oreo finally has a little bit of time to breathe here, and now he can take a step back. He's on 3 bases, he's fully saturated, he needs another though, and trying to force Lingbane Hydra, it could work, but the first Colossus is gonna come out, and it's so difficult dealing with Colossus when you don't have Vipers. Defensive Colossus, I should say. Like, sure, there's an opportunity to catch him in the middle of the map, but like, Bistork's not gonna move out, right?
Oh, I was just about to bring that up. I'm glad you did first. So I was like, what? Because I was about to huff the copium here. I was about to be like, well, You know, maybe if Bistork pushes out and Oreo gets us around and whatnot. But I'm glad you saved me from overdosing again.
I mean, you're not wrong, right? Like, that's the thing, you know. If Bistork pushes out, then he does expose himself. But to be fair, even then, like, he has a lot of sentries. Like, he has so much force field potential, and there's no Roach Warren, which means there's no Ravagers, which means there's no way to deal with those force fields.
Yeah, not unless Oreo somehow utilizes this infestation pit to get a very quick hive and very quick Ultralisk. But he is getting the Roach Warren out now, so at least he should have a couple of utility Ravages, as I like to call them.
Yeah, but they're not going to be ready. Roach Warren's halfway done, and Bistork is already knocking on the front door of Oreo again. With so many sentries, Oreo may just be forced to give up this base.
Such good force fields, blocking out just about every single queen here. And those are high energy queens too. Oreo is left with about 4 transfuses, when earlier on he had, what, 8? Something like along those lines.
Exactly. Oreo, he's going to try and collapse on this army, but he barely has anything left. None of the Baneling connect. The Hydras finally get on top of all these sentries, but the Colossus is reigning supreme. The Colossus doesn't have a lot of buffer, though.
And it's a pretty good concave here for Oreo. The Colossus will kite the Hydra so well, though. The Warp Prism comes in for a very hot pickup, and the rest of the reinforcements as well will continue to buffer. Now it's 2 Colossus, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's enough to 2-shot the Hydras.
Oh yeah, 100%, mate. Just a couple of swipes is all you need. The third base does go down. Oreo does keep a lot of his drones alive, but unfortunately they cannot be rerouted to the 4th base. Oreo is trying to muster an army here on top of the ramp, Lings and Hydras, but again, he still just doesn't have an answer to the Colossus.
Unfortunately, GG is called, and Bistork will be taking that series 2-1.
G.
Oh boy.
GG. Well played, Bistork. Well played. It went all the way to the ace match, and I want to commend Oreo because you know what? He did take down the best player in Hong Kong in Go-Go Joey to get here, but that was in a ZvZ, and in a ZvP, Bistork did just come out on top there.
He did, just barely. I mean, we gotta give credit to Oreo here. He took it to the best of Hong Kong. He beat the best of Hong Kong at least once. In Bistork, he was invigorated. He was mad. He wanted to avenge not just his countrymen, but his teammate as well.
Exactly. His teammates, his countrymen, you know, all these things were really adding up here, and Bistork really showing that he is still a very strong player, even if he's on the team as an analyst, like as a player.
He's on the staff and not on the you know, the competitive roster.
Yeah, and he's still a very competitive player. As we saw, that was just rough to see because what happened there was Oreo had committed to Hydra Tech, assuming that Bistork was going Stargate, and by the time that he saw all the Adepts across the map, his Hydra Den was already halfway done. Like, he was committed to that. When ideally you do have Roaches and Ravagers instead. So yeah, he was in a really rough place. He still tried to make the Ling Bane Hydra work, but we saw like it can be very limited, especially when you don't have an economy behind it. To really, like, you know, to really round out your army and get into Lurkers and get into Vipers. Like, I'm sure he would want to.
Yeah. All comes back to that turret being denied over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, man. Just couldn't get that late game army he needed to deal with that.
Exactly. Oh boy. But that means that we have our finalists confirmed, and it will not be a ZvZ finalist.
Sorry, Zeph.
Feels Zeph, man. As again, congratulations to Oreo for making it here to the semifinals. Pardon me, I don't have the stats on it, but that may be the furthest that Oreo has ever gone before.
No.
Has he made it to the finals?
Because if you'll recall, the very first Grand Platypus Open we've ever had, well, the finals was Oreo versus Demi.
Was it?
Yeah. GPO won.
Oh my god. Oh my god, you're correct. Wow. Yeah. Azure wasn't a thing there. My god.
Yeah. This is what it's like I have to mention. I can remember things that happened years ago.
Yeah.
What happened 2 weeks ago.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Oh god. But I mean, I guess for the first time this year, Oreo does make it here to the semifinals, and he was so close to making it to the finals.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's still plenty of weeks ahead of us, and plenty of opportunities for a player like Oreo to really make a name for himself here. Oh, but this time, it is going to be a Juggernaut team kill.
Oh, I just realized that, man. This is a good day for Juggernaut Esports or Juggernaut Gaming. Juggernaut Gaming, that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah.
I have to apologize because I don't remember his name. The owner
Calibre.
of Juggernaut. Calibre, that's it. I knew it started with a C. Calibre. He's somewhere out there. He's smiling and he doesn't really know why.
Exactly. Add him on Twitter, mate. Add him. But yes, we are going to be getting our grand finals ready. But before we get to our grand finals, we are going to be going on a short 5-minute break. When we return, we will have that Juggernaut team kill.
Indeed, we shall. We'll see you in 5 minutes.
So.
Mel.